Hey, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Trey, my man Bishop. We in the building. First formation fall in. Bishop, what's good with you this morning, brother?
What's going on? What's going on? WGO, how y'all feeling this morning? It's your boy Trey and your man Bishop, man. How y'all doing for those that in the MGLO? Y'all know me as Zalos, but it is what it is. And my boy Savvy, part of the greatest military fraternity out there, man. Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. Hey, it's hump day, man. Hump day. Trey, what's good, man? What's good? What's good? How was your Tuesday? Talk to me. Tell everybody what's good, man, on your Tuesday.
You know, being the sports specialist for the installation, we're now currently in um bowling season mode as they
Mm,
was bowling last night. Uh, it's crazy, man, in my opinion, how these groups, I call them niches, communities, these communities tend to um, band together, and like you see the camaraderie when you see them play. Like you look at softball. There's a huge softball community here, or of course anywhere, just like anywhere else.
mhm.
Um, but the most tight knit, in my opinion, uh, are the bowling community as well as the volleyball community. Um,
Really?
yeah.
Volleyball?
Interesting enough, volleyball and bowling.
In military intramural sports?
So not even just in the mural, just in general. Like they have get-togethers and stuff like that, where they all from all whether you're married, whether they're soldiers, retirees, spouses, just get together and play volleyball for hours
Wow.
throughout the course of the day, and then of course bowling. In the bowling community, you already see where a lot of times there's the love, you know, what I'm saying the congratulations and stuff like that. Everyone dapping each other up on every time a strike is thrown or picks up a good spare. You know, what I'm saying just that camaraderie. You know, what I'm saying it's just everyone shares in the aspirations of how they play the game. So that's just from my standpoint, from sitting back and look at it as I observe. So it's interesting, but we're in our second week. We got 4 more weeks to go in the season, and then after that, for the fiscal year, for the last of the year, as you come down to it, to participate, of course, in our beloved and flag football season, which I got to start getting ready for
Mhm.
in a couple of weeks for the most part. Not
Is
to
is
mention,
flag football big there? Like, so you said bowling. So which one is in top? Is it volleyball then bowling, or is it bowling then volleyball?
oh no, it's clearly without a doubt softball.
Softball. I meant to. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. You're right. It
yeah,
got to be softball.
yeah. It's
Okay.
softball.
Okay.
Now, in my opinion, flag
Good morning,
football
Zach. Good
is
morning.
a close second. Not real close, but it's very close. What's going, Zach? Good morning, sir.
What up, my man?
It's a close second
Oh,
because
okay.
that
So it's second to softball.
everyone's been hitting me up. Yeah, second to softball,
Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
second to
Okay.
softball. But if you were to, from the aspect of like we talk about how something goes, where it's like it's not as big, but within its own right is huge. That
Mhm.
would be volleyball starts to in that realm, volleyball I think will overtake softball. Softball will come second, and then you will have flag football, then golfing. Or soccer is not soccer gets a lot of love too.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's just here in the. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what's the hotness up there in San Antonio around the
Yeah. Really.
installations.
You know what? It's hard to say, man, because I really, being that I being an official and all I was calling was basketball and football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basketball and football. Therefore, I don't know how big soccer, volleyball, or softball is in this area. I'm assuming it's pretty big because what is it? Hero Sports is out here,
Mm-hmm.
so of course they
Oh, yeah, with their softball tournaments,
yeah they softball. And from what I
hunting and
hear,
stuff like that.
yeah, from what I hear, he says he has a huge a great deal of teams that participate in that. So I'm assuming so. And softball's always been kind of big in Texas anyway, to be honest with you, because that's one sport you can pretty much play all year round too here in Texas, for the most part. So yeah, if I had to guess though, I would probably say softball is first. With basketball probably being second, with flag probably being a close or tied for second. Because basketball, like I said, because because I'm assuming Trey, are you adding? youth a part of it, or are you just adding
No,
adults?
so for me, I mean, well, so it's different here because the CYS is a different entity than that of the SFA,
Mhm.
but CYS runs so many. What's good, Facebook user? We
Yeah, yeah. We would
yeah.
love to know who you are, so we don't have to say Facebook user, but we appreciate
So yeah, so it's a whole different entity,
you.
but for the most part, they do run a lot. Like every time you turn around, the CYS is posting what they got going on currently. What they got coming up is flag. I mean, it's tackle football. So their tackle football season happens, and then after the tackle football seasons, the flag football. Of course, that's male or female could play in any one or
Okay,
boy or girl. So basically, that's where they're at with it. So, but it's huge. Like they have so many different things. The running season's coming up. Mud Run, Army 10 miler got
right, right.
the second Army 10 miler qualifier at the end of this month before the team is chosen for the go represent. So, that's hardwire. Um, so so basically, yeah, so that's what's going on. So it's a lot, but definitely without a doubt, clearly without a doubt, it's softball, flag football, because they I get conversations like, "Hey Trey, when's flag football starting?" Uh, which it should be getting to start registration in a couple of days. So yeah,
Okay. Are you looking forward to it?
so you know what? I'll be honest. Initially, I'd be like, "Yeah, it's the season," and then as I sit there, I'd be like, "I can't wait till the season's over." And then it happens all over again. So it's like a continuous love hate situation with that.
Okay,
But yeah, so I'll be ready for the season to start to see what's out there.
okay,
Sometimes there's some good games going on to be some people worthy. Be like, okay, then you start seeing. Then other times they'd be like, oh man, just get it over with. Like, let's go. Especially when teams are getting ran through.
right.
So maybe I'm just jealous because I'm not out there. I can't play if I'm running it. So, and that's been the last 4 years. I have to set grueling through this. What's
Right.
good, Key? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So let's start this off. This morning. What up, Key? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Key? Thank you so much. First, let's give our condolences and prayer
Yes,
to Vin Scully, Hall of Fame broadcaster for Brooklyn and the LA Dodgers.
I know you was gonna throw that in there. I ain't mad at you, but I knew you was gonna
Yeah,
throw that in there.
that's what was he not?
67 years. I know.
Yeah,
67 years he did it.
yes, and he died at the age of 94 yesterday. Um, so our sincere condolences to a Hall of Famer who was well known. His voice was well known through
Yes, the
baseball.
catch.
Man, the catch, Hank Aaron, um,
Hmm.
um, uh,
He
uh,
commentated with John Madden his first
John,
year.
yeah. Who's the other? Hank Aaron and what's the other one? Oh, wow, I can't think of his name.
Robinson Mays.
Yeah, all of them, all the greats. Pete Rose, all the greats. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? He lived a great life, I'm sure. 94 years old, 6 years away from 100. And yeah, man, it's a sad day today for those who know Vin Scully.
Yeah, listening to
Oh, you
Dodgers
know
game,
us.
yeah,
Yes,
doing the Dodger fan, listening to Dodger games and hearing him, and I mean, you knew it was coming. It's unfortunate because, like we look at our some of the people in which even one we grew up watching or hearing, or the individuals in which we may not have grew up watching or hearing, but we know of them or heard of them,
right.
and you start kind of realizing like it's that time is coming sooner or
Yes.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
sooner
same
than later.
same thing like yeah, same like Bill Russell, saying
Yeah,
stuff like that. So
yeah. It seemed like we a lot of the legends are leaving us, man.
leaving us, yeah,
Man, the legends are leaving us. Like I said, Ben Sully was a Hall of Fame broadcaster, man. He had done it, like Trey said, 67 years. He had been broadcasting since 1950. He quit broadcasting in
20,
2016.
that's 26 years before I was even born.
That part, bro. That part, bro.
I knew when he had a whole military career and retired, this man was still calling games.
Bro,
Like, yo,
he started his last game call was in 2016.
hmm
67 years broadcasting, bro. That's a long time. That's retiring three times. That's retiring in the military 3 times. If you
Mm-hmm.
retire 20,
You best you done
20
retire from each service.
yeah, 20, that's 3 times retirements, bro. I mean, I don't know if they get, when they retire from that, I don't know if they
If
get,
it's a
I,
pension or something like
yeah,
that.
some type of pension or anything like that. I'm sure they got
He
something.
probably got something from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Brooklyn probably taking care of his
of
problem.
course.
Yeah.
Don't they got a field named after him
Yes.
or
But
something like
yeah. So just like no, just like how they pay homage, he's probably going to end up getting a statue,
that? Okay.
in
It's
around the yeah, or maybe outside, or it might be one of those. Just like how Chick Hearn has a statue outside the now the crypto.com arena. I'm very sure the Dodgers are going to pay homage to him and immortalize him in some way, form, or fashion. So
It's
yeah,
well deserved. It's definitely well deserved. But we wanted to pay homage to that because that's he's a legend.
yeah,
But
true that, definitely. Um, I was looking at something in the NBA, like we said, less NBA conversation now, but I'm saying in a sense. So with we talked about Michael Green. You and Ron was like, who? But
yeah, I'm about to
Michael
say
Green,
ooh again. Like, ooh.
Michael Green. So
Mhm.
remember, Michael Green was a player that was moved
Oh,
from yeah, and he
yeah,
went
yeah.
to and now he's been bought out, and so now he's a Golden State Warriors fan. I mean, Golden State Warriors player. But I was just coming across where he was discussing how it was so crazy when he got the phone call. He said he was chilling in Jamaica and his phone rang. So
Mhm.
I don't know about you if you answer your phone when you're on vacation. I know I do. I answer my phone no matter what.
Yeah, well, it all depends. Yeah, right now, I got certain apps on my phone because I don't know about you, but I was getting those telemarketing calls, or like, bruh, at least
There's an
20
app.
to
There's an
30
app for that
Yeah,
to
well,
to
stop. Oh,
decipher the. Oh, okay.
it's called Robo Killer. For those that
Okay.
don't know, Robo Killer, it does cost, but it
Oh,
alleviates all the call,
it's
all,
worth it.
bro.
It's like
So,
that $10 we talked about yesterday. Like, yo, I'm paying $10 to stop these cats from
bro,
calling me.
Trey, when I say I was getting 15 to 20 calls a day from
Oh
just
wow.
telling, and I'm not joking. And the thing is about it, right? And this is not no exaggeration. When I was getting,
Hmm.
I knew it was telemarketer because they was calling me from a 254 number, which is Colleen. And
Yeah.
all the people that I know in Colleen, I have their phone, I have their name, I have their number in my phone, so I know who they are. So
Uh
so I knew it was telemarketers. So when you get Bishop, you not paying. No,
huh.
that's not it, bro. I'm definitely good on that part, bro. It's not that it was telemarketers because at first I was answering them because I was like, maybe somebody changed their number or whatever. No, you get that animate automated and we would like to no, click, you know what I'm saying? Click. So
I
yeah,
get a lot of travel calls and stuff like that. I'll be thinking
well,
about it.
because you're an agent, right? Aren't you a travel?
Yeah, but I don't understand why they be calling me about travel. Like they be calling me trying to sell me travel, and I just be listening and be thinking to myself like I'm a whole agent. I know what you're doing. Like he'll say stop, but you're
Right.
saying I listen. Sometimes I even take them up on it. I was like, okay, let me sit up. I was like, what? Say word? It's like so it just depends, but
Oh, that's his
definitely
brother. Oh, you said that's
yeah,
my brother on here. Okay, wow,
yeah.
he's been on here in a minute.
In a minute,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Since I don't know, maybe you felt a
new
certain type
job.
of way. I'm
No,
sorry.
new
I'm
job.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
new job. He got a
Oh
new
yeah,
job.
yeah, well, yeah. He did start. He did start. I was just
Yeah,
one. I was
so
about to say,
now
yo,
you
I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean it.
yeah,
Uh,
hardwired. Trey he hate the Sooners and stuff like that, man. So we don't worry about it. Hardwired, I get him. I get him. Don't worry about it.
so
Hardwired.
yeah, so yeah, so so but with Jamichael, he basically said he was on vacation.
Mhm.
He said the phone rung. In the process of with the phone ringing, he said he decided to answer. He's like, why not? He answered it, and on the other end is Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr basically got with him and told him,
Steve
yeah,
Kerr actually called.
called him and told him that hey, we want you a part of the team. We look forward to having you. So he's like, okay, he was saying a little gassed up. So he's like he dropped off the call and he called Draymond because he said him and Draymond had known each other since like the eighth grade, playing AAU basketball together and all that type of stuff. So he's like, he called Draymond and Draymond's like, yeah, saying excited. So I bring that up to say like, does that call like solidify decisions? Like it's like you get a call and it's like, oh snap, saying this is so and so calling me from this place. We want you to come be a part of our organization, whether regardless of like is that like a vote of confidence or is it like do you take it as okay, this is just them being doing business?
Um, No, that's a vote of confidence, and I think a lot of it is because of who it came from.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It came from the head coach of Steve Kerr, a legend.
Steve Kerr, who's a
Yes,
legend in his
yes,
right now.
in his
Yeah.
own right. So if coming from now, if it came from the scout or something like that, yeah, you
He
feel
might
maybe
be blowing it off like,
yeah, you might
yeah.
be a little excited, but at the same time, not as excited. But when you
Hmm.
hear directly from the coach, that's like a college. I mean, that's like a high school student hearing from Nick Saban that plays college, want to play like, Mom, Nick Saban on the phone. It's Nick Saban. Like you gonna lose your mind because it's Nick Saban. You know what I'm saying? You don't expect Nick Saban to call your house or your cell phones. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
true
saying?
that.
Anthony, who depends on who call you. You don't expect Nick Saban to call you. You expect one of his
But you know what?
proteges to call you.
I don't know if it's me, but I stuff like that just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, honestly. So I was just sitting here thinking when you was just because I almost asked you like, wait,
Let me,
how would they go do?
let me get light skinned Keisha to call you. Then let me see if it'll do it for you.
That's an inside joke. This dude is stupid. So so oh Jesus Christ. So hold up, bro.
Crazy shit, bro.
Oh my goodness. But
Crazy.
so so if I was just about to say what I was going to say, I can assure you, light skinned Keisha was not the thought. In which but I was about to say, if Stephen A. called, is like, hey, you know, what I'm saying, I love what y'all doing. We like to sit up and if that something like that was to happen, I don't foresee myself being. I'm like, well, oh really? You know, what I'm saying, I really appreciate that. That's what's up. And I think that's it. I don't know. Maybe that's me, or maybe that's me in my head until it really happened. Like, you know, what I'm saying,
Right.
this is what I'm thinking, but this is what I'm really doing. So, but yeah. So I can understand that completely.
Is there something you want to share?
No, man. This, it's funny. It's funny how you just did that. I swear, this dude be setting me up, man. He set me up for the okie doke all the
Oh
time, and it don't even be stuff that I walk into. It just be it's don't even be.
you walked into that.
I'm
Stop
pretty
it.
well
You
versed
walked
in
into
that.
that. You did walk
No,
into
I
that.
did not walk into that.
You walked
It's
right
no,
into that. But speaking of which, it's crazy you brought up Draymond, right?
yeah.
So what are your thoughts about hearing about? Did you hear about Draymond partying with LeBron?
Oh yeah. I seen it. I seen it. When it was there. Yeah, I did see
And
that. I seen the clip.
yeah. So what are your thoughts? Like we've all heard about KD possibly going back over there to Golden State. What are your thoughts about Draymond and LeBron hanging out partying?
So I wouldn't look anything past it. I mean, now with you bringing the fact of okay, KD going back over there, I would have
Mhm.
looked at it more so of in that fact, if that was even a notion, my notion would be more of um, Green leaving Golden State to go over to
Mhm.
LA. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
saying, but I mean, of course, that's a little bit different when you think about that because when you think about that,
And what about that?
Steph is in LA, so you would think that it would be more formidable for LeBron to bounce to leave and go to Golden State, which we all know that LeBron is basically um, contract is up next year, in which he would have to extend.
So so let me ask you this: when you see stuff like that, right? I don't think
Hmm.
Draymond will get along, but who knows? That's a good question or a good statement right there, Mike. Because I was just about to ask Trey something on that line of that. So obviously, sometimes you can be around people and just be cordial, even if you don't get along with them, or it looks as though they was kind of like dancing together without
Yeah,
dancing
clearly,
because they
yeah.
were the same move or whatever, however,
Mhm.
whatever it may be. Like when they have um events like that or outings like that, do you think LeBron and Draymond or whoever, KD and whoever may be out together?
Conversations,
Yes,
oh, without a doubt.
in regards to the upcoming seasons, do you think they lobbying for, hey, why don't you come here? Oh no, why don't you come with
I'm
us?
sure I'm very sure it goes on and stuff like that. In you know, what I'm saying in certain rooms and things in that nature. To that's how
But,
supposedly.
the reason why I asked that though, Trey, is because you and I, we played flag football for years out at Fort Hood.
Hmm.
We would be around people in the club and stuff like that, places, see them at work, things of that nature. We never lobbied for trying to get someone on our team or somebody trying to get us on their team. You know what I'm saying? We looked at it as, oh, that's our nemesis.
Yes,
Especially when it came to finance, especially when it came to
yeah, finance and
we
medac.
don't want no parts in it. Yeah, finance and man. We don't want no parts. Ain't nobody trying to come over there. We trying to beat y'all. We ain't
And
trying
I
to.
think that was the difference. So you got to think about it like, no, we might not have been lobbying, but however, if we did know someone was a free agent, um, it we wouldn't have been opposed. Just like when we was playing downtown in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
we would try to put together. I know when I played when I started playing, or it might have been after y'all had left,
Mm-hmm.
but I would put together teams that basically was teams with people from all over the installation, from um uh, just a plethora of teams in which the people who I know who can play,
Mm-hmm.
I used to go grab them and stuff like that. When we was at the defect, my D. Oh, so when we was at the defect, it makes it easier because these are people we provide a service to.
Right.
So we see them, like you said, we see them or stuff like that. They already know who we are. They from playing on the field. Then they know you're saying we're at the. Then they know we're at the.
That part,
Then they
right.
know that we're at the in or at the fields and stuff like that. Once that.
And we understand, and a lot of it is the reason why we probably didn't do a lot of lobbying because in the military, for those that may not know, you can't play for another team. You have to basically play for your unit or your section when it comes to intramural sports. So you really can't, even though some people did it anyway. I'm not gonna lie. Um, you really wasn't supposed to play for any other team. Now, the only time they would sometime allow it is if your team or your unit or your company or whatever didn't have a team, and then they would allow you to play with someone else. But yeah, for the most part. But I was just wondering because I seen a Hardwire say, "Oh, networking is definitely being done," which I totally get it. I'm sure it is being done. You just wonder on which way is it being done? Is it LeBron lobbying to try and get Draymond over to the LA, or uh, vice versa? Is Draymond lobbying to try and get LeBron over and um, go to state? But either way, yeah, I'm sure networking is definitely being done. Even if it ain't even networking about the league itself or about being on each other's team, it might be, you know, bigger networking conversations about front offices and things of that nature. Because we know LeBron James is a huge entrepreneur. He does a great deal for his community. He does a great deal for his city, his state. So I feel like, even if they're not lobbying about trying to get each other to their respective teams, they may be lobbying on trying to do future adventures, endeavors down the line and being owners, co-owners, so forth and so on, which would be, huge. In the NBA, whether or in any sport, because there are some players that are owners of opposite sports from what they played. So, um, but I was just curious because I know when we go to outings like that, a lot of people think it's all about partying and stuff like that, but a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's about networking. Like Hardwire said, it's an opportunity to talk to individuals that you may not talk to on a regular basis and get an opportunity to talk to them, learn more about them, see what things y'all may have in common if y'all do, and have an opportunity to, like I say, have future endeavors and make some command decisions on what your future may hold as far as excuse me, as far as being in the front office, being an owner, co-owner, things of that nature. So it is one. Didn't want the enemy on our teams at all. That part, Mike, that part, that's how we was about finance. And like Trey said, like we was about finance and how we were about Medac. Those were our nemesis, man. We did not want them on our team, bro. We was looking to beat them. When you was not finna sit here and do that, and we want to beat y'all. It could be about future business ventures. That part exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Hardwire, future business ventures, all stuff, all kind of stuff like that. Love the show. You guys keep it up. Appreciate you, JD. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so yeah, I'll pick up on that, like you were saying. But it's very interesting. But yeah, so yeah, put together those teams and stuff like that, and it was just different. So to get a call from somebody in reference to, like, yeah, we didn't do it, but I mean, is there anyone that you think about in that day that you think would have put us over the top, as opposed to that we could have added?
Not really. You know what? I know finance had a few players that were real decent players who could play the game real well. Um,
And let's be real. I think keep it 100 is a lot of those teams were had some free agents that were attached to other
mhm,
organizations
mhm,
and were playing. You know, what I'm saying so. We were one of few organically built teams.
mhm,
The only difference is you're a consolidated facility, so you get everyone from all the other uh, teams. But
mhm.
in state is our organization was organically built from the inside.
Right. Absolutely. And it, that was like Michael said, we never wanted to, team up with them for the most part because we were so busy, so focused on trying to beat them when it came time. We wanted our opportunity to get in there and say we beat the team who's reigning champions and things of that nature. So it is what it is. I gotta take this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely hardwired. So yeah, it was definitely those days that those are some of my I guess you could say as far as playing because it started dwindling down. But of course, being on Fort Hood for 18 years and I seen a lot. I played in first calf, in around with first calf teams. Uh, at one point, I became a free agent and moved from the unit I was playing with. I was still in the battalion, so I moved over to another team. I became a free agent and looked up with some people in which that kind of like put me in the situation to where I seen all those other teams play, and so then I started becoming that person that could have been that was being recruited or called on or had an interest, and then I went over to the DFAC and then found people that played, and after that I kind of like started staying playing with the DFAC, so it was all of that, and then those years died down, and then I went to JBLM or deployments, playing in deployments and stuff like that. JBLM it kind of like died down. I did, however, go play in the city a lot of times with leagues, and then it basically died down after that. When I got to Fort Polk, I didn't see an interest in playing with any other teams that were here or the ones that I had to play with, and I just didn't. So it probably would have been, like you said, serious competition. Definitely fun in any case. Again, those communities being built. What's good, Stanton? Good morning, sir. Good morning. How you doing? Glad to have you with us this morning. Uh, I'll play with the, yeah, yeah, all the time. That's the rhetoric. That's how it goes. Build a camaraderie and start playing. I even one of the great things I seen for somebody, which I was like, that's an excellent way. Was it was a player. He formalized a tournament. He formalized a preseason tournament to get all the teams to come out to see who we basically would be our competition. And basically it worked. You know what I'm saying? Made a little money off of it. He put the tournament together, made a little money off it, and then we kind of knew exactly who the competition was and was able to go from there. So it's crazy how it all happened. But like I said, good time. I got a couple. I'm trying to get a couple of more in me before I completely hang it up. Unlike my co-host, but I want to see if I can get more out there for one last ride and get to make it work in some aspect. He ain't got to even move that much. Just a quick hitch and stand there, secure the first down, then walk off the field. Um, what else we got? What else we got? Matter of fact, let me see something. I've been wanting to discuss. I'm a. I do a lot of pensing. Oh, okay, 2 games on Thursday. See, the area I'm in, which I'm in, doesn't have the opportunity for me to really go and play. Outside the pickup, like they do pickup ball all the time for the most part, but there's not really unless without me having to travel like an hour, hour and a half to go play, which you then take into consideration practices and stuff like that. There's nowhere for me to play around here. Let me see. Let me pull something up right quick. So, nah, I'm not gonna do this yet. Hold up. Uh, okay, I'll wait. So, NFL conversation. Oh, you know what? Actually, I will do this. I've been thinking, like going back and looking at the NBA season as we still a little NBA conversation. One of the things in which I was thinking about was over the course of this past season, there were a lot of good games, and with those said good games, I was just wondering, like, what were the perceptions of what was the best playoff series during this past playoff postseason. I mean, NBA postseason. What was the best series? What was the best series in the East? What was the best series in the West? And overall, what was the best series? Uh, I don't know what that's. So I'm very sure there's a lot of different factors when you take into even answering that question. Like, does the best series have to have been somewhere where it was a close, where the teams basically played each other's tight to vest? It was close, or does it be just the excitement of the game, even though a team was swept or a gentleman series? It was the simple fact that it was a dogfight the whole series. It was just someone had to win, and it was just one particular team that won all the time. But I would like to hear y'all in the comments. What do you perceive as what was the best series in this past NBA Finals? I'm correction, NBA playoffs that passed. When I look at it, for the West, of course, we have candidates in the Golden State Memphis series. I don't know if you was like, yeah, the Golden State Memphis series. I don't know if you would include the Utah Dallas series, um, or even lastly, would it be the New Orleans Phoenix series? In my opinion, in the West, I think it was the New Orleans Phoenix series. I think the Memphis game, the Memphis Golden State series, was probably was very close. But I think the excitement of that Phoenix series, even though they went down, ended up winning 4-2. It was the simple fact that um, New Orleans, as a play-in seed, was close and almost had them. Oh, okay, I hear you, Hardwire. So that was it for me in the East. Uh, in the East, it might have been the Philly. Um, well, no, let me make sure. In the East, mm, in the East, it might have been. I don't know. I had to really go back and think about the East. Oh no, overall for me, it was the finals, which was Boston and Golden State. But I have to go back and look at the East and take a look at East. I think it was Boston and Milwaukee was the most exciting series for me in the East. Boston Milwaukee series, and like I said, overall was the Golden State and Boston series. As they went back and forth a couple of times in a couple of games, I think those were the best series. So, of course, Golden State champions in two of those games, and then lastly the of course, New Orleans and Phoenix in the other, in which it was just a firestorm. I think it would have been so. It would have been just imagine had New Orleans been able to shock the world and dispatch the Phoenix Suns in the first round, which they came very close, in which basically they got exposed to the next one and got taken out. So, um, but yeah, uh, but like I said, moving on. A little conversation as we get into it with the NFL. A little over all over the place, somewhat in a little bit maybe, but I have a couple of topics I'm gonna bring back up and run back again once I get Bishop back on the line. Talk about he wasn't here on Monday to discuss him and bring him up, but one we didn't talk about that we can talk about now is that the Los Angeles Rams. So Los Angeles Rams, current reigning Super Bowl champions, are getting a an injection in over sorts as their running back Cam Akers will be back. As we know, Cam Akers tore his Achilles tendon last year around this time, around July time, in which basically left him out for the majority of the season. Actually, he did not come back till their last week of the year and played, and of course played sparingly in or contributed in the playoff games. Cam Akers, correct. Cam Akers is back in the fold. and points out that he feels like he is ready. He feel like he missed the season last year and wasn't able to contribute, but now he's back. His head coach McVay, has even stated that he feels very confident in their running back room. He feels like they have two, not one, but two starting running backs on their squad in which they give equal amounts of reps to, so that way they can see what they got in Los Angeles. So with me being the opposition in this situation, it sounds scary. Everything I say is on paper. At this point, everything is on paper. It sounds scary on paper. It really does sound scary on paper when you look at the fact that you have Cam Akers was starting to ascend a little before his injury, and additionally, uh, Henderson, who after Akers went down is now, is in the fold. You have, and they had Sony Michelle at one point. Of course, we know he's left and going on to be played. He's going to play in Miami. A load of riches, Daryl Henderson to be exact. A load of riches at this point, where it's like, is the Rams? Do you feel that the Rams are stocked and ready to go to sit up and play for the upcoming season? Do we potentially see another back-to-back champion in LA? As they get ready to gear up, as we know, uh, tomorrow is tomorrow will be the Hall of Fame game, uh, to where it starts the season. Kind of like get those juices. If you ain't already pumped and ready and geared, primed up for the NFL season, then it starts tomorrow. It gets it in tomorrow. Probably not the same. I mean, some people don't really get up for preseason games, but the simple fact of saying it's football is being played. Yeah, that part, Hardwire, is very good, nice, on paper. But of course, it changes. Um, repetition starts to show that these players aren't the player isn't that person who you thought they was. Chemistry is lacking, or overly so, to where it's like, oh yeah, this is definitely that. Injuries start to take place. Um so they have, which second receiver you talk about, Anthony? You talk about Robinson Allen? I mean, Allen Robinson, um or Van Jefferson? Because they have Robinson. I mean, Allen, he's ready. He's there. I think he's there. I don't think he's injured anymore or having any corals. So him and Cooper Cup, and then now Jefferson is out as he just got injured. He's doing knee surgery. True that. ETN in the fold. I know I seen somewhere where Trevor Lawrence was stating that he's very high on ETN. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay. Yeah. So yes, Jefferson. Yeah, Jefferson's out and done. But yeah, Travis Etienne is in the fold, ready to go in Tampa Bay, or not Tampa Bay, in Jacksonville. Um, Coach Peterson's there, kind of like redirecting. Etienne, like you said, missed last year, so he didn't get a chance to show out. But even then, in Etienne, they have other players. I think another Robinson or some that's up there that showed to be very valuable, and even why ETN wasn't there. So they have a two-headed monster up in or around Jacksonville as well. So, but again, we're talking. I'm sorry, while we're talking that, I should be switching this. But again, we're talking at this point. We're talking NFL, like you said, and that's the primary. Like they got like it's the conversation is being had, and so we're literally hours away from a preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, uh, and then after that, it starts. After that, we start getting other games. Matter of fact, what do you see? When is the first game uh, in reference to that? Let me see. We know Jacksonville and Las Vegas Raiders play tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then after that's week one, week two, August 11th, 4 days, 7 days, a week later. we start to enter into the beginning of the
Preseason.
preseason. Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
so that's saying that's where it basically comes. So yeah, those juices are starting to flow and get it going. I was just talking to a bishop about Cam Akers is back.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Akers is back for the Rams, and now they have Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers, in which now they're going to be. Hold on one second.
Cam Akers and yeah. People say the Hall of Fame game is a waste of time. I so I don't understand why people say that. A waste of time as far as what? Yeah, we know the game doesn't count. We get it, but it allows people who's been waiting for months for football to get back into play. Gives us a little taste of what to expect um in the upcoming season. So yeah, but you could also say preseason is a waste of time, even though we know what preseason does. It's preparing the players for the upcoming season and getting them ready to see. Lets the coaches see where they stand versus competitive teams and so forth and so on. But excuse me, I think I feel like the Hall of Fame game is a game that everybody looks forward to. You know what I'm saying? It pretty much kicks off the upcoming season for NFL and stuff like that. So I like it. But I do feel where you're coming from, Anthony. A lot of people do feel like it's a waste of time. But for me, I like it. I look forward to tomorrow. I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow because it just seems like it takes so long for football season to come. So but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm sure a lot of other people are. It also allows coaches to finalize their rosters. That part. Hardwire. It definitely meaning the preseason. Oh yeah, right. Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, that extra one game in which the Jaguars and I forget who they play, the Jaguars and whoever are playing tomorrow. That's one extra game that they get and that they get to see and stuff like that. And a lot of people are probably looking forward to see Trevor Lawrence Sunshine play because of the abysmal season he had last season under Meyer. So a lot of people are looking forward to see what Trevor Lawrence, I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence has to offer under another coach. So I know I'm gonna be looking at what he's doing tomorrow. In that game, I'm definitely gonna be right there in front of the TV, even though it's not my squad playing. I'm gonna be who the Jaguars playing, Trey?
The Raiders.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's gonna be a nice one. Oh, that's gonna be a nice car. He gets to see him and Adams, yeah, live on under the lights or whatever. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a
So that brings up another question that completely off the topic a little, not off the topic, but out of the topics. So, what do you think about the time used for these preseason games? Like, like, do you feel that as a fan, do you think that it is needed and is useful, or let's stand stupid? Uh, what
which
TV you watch?
stop it, man.
So, do you feel that the time is really useful or being used, or do you think it's a waste the preseason? Or I know we kind of talked about it before. Or do you think like for Trevor Lawrence, if he only goes, he's the franchise quarterback at this point. How
Right.
many how many reputations or series should he play, or should he play a whole quarter, or like what's the how do if you
I would
were a
treat it like
coach?
a preseason game. I would treat it like a preseason game. You talking about tomorrow's game?
Well, him in general, just as far as the player, like, do they get large repetitions? Like in his case, it's a little different. But how do you feel as a player? If you were a coach, how are you dictating that? Are you playing your starter to get repetitions to get kind of loose, and then you moving so you can start to evaluate others? Do they start to get more time towards the end of the year, or like 3 games? Like how are you dictating that time frame? Or how are you using the game?
Um. So yeah, I would probably use the format in which they've been doing for decades in regards to um starters. Um.
Mm.
I didn't hear this Anthony Price that Carr nor son or nor
The top players
Lawrence
aren't playing.
aren't playing. I didn't know that, which I feel like now if that's the case. then I do feel like it's meaningful. It's a waste of time
Mm.
because people don't want to necessarily come and see a
As a
bunch of
fan, you feel like.
yeah. As a fan, you're getting cheated. You're not seeing
Mm.
the true team play
Mm-hmm.
for this game. Don't get me wrong, I understand the concept on which the coaches are looking at it. Let's not lose our key players on a non-relevant game,
Mm-hmm.
irrelevant game. So
It's
don't
all entertainment.
yeah, we're not. It's entertainment right now. We're not finna put our players out here and jeopardize them taking an injury or so forth or so on. So I get it, but you're cheating the fans, in my opinion. And when it's all said and done, I mean, I don't agree with that. I start them off with a series or two. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Hardwire. A series or two. Um, for Trevor Lawrence, he's not coming off no injury like that or nothing like that. So what they only get 3 preseason games this year, right? Ain't it 3?
Yes, 3.
Yeah. So with 3 preseason games, um, I would probably, if it was me and it was Trevor Lawrence or Derek Carr, I would probably let him play the entire first quarter,
Mm-hmm.
probably the entire first quarter, and then sit my
And then
start.
of course you get the ridicule if it's something happening or it's like, they should have had him. And it's like no matter, it's like there's no right answer at this
Right,
part. You know what I'm saying? It's just you
right.
as a coach, you have to live and die with. I mean,
It's your
not to say
decision.
that, but you have to just live. You have to go with that decision. Like you did it based upon what you believe. And what you wanted to see. If you're watching and you're not seeing something, then you might be like, well, I want to leave him in a little longer. Just make so because you're supposed to be assessing the game. I'm feeling is supposed to be used for assessment. It's entertainment, but it's supposed to be used for his assessment
It's
period.
it's entertainment for the fans
Hmm.
and everyone else, but for the teams and the coaches, it's work. They're at work. It's their job. They're at work right now.
So,
So
are
they're
you agreeing with Hardwire as the season get closer? You give a little more time,
absolutely
or you
so
dial back a little?
so being they got 3 more games, right? So
Hmm.
game two of preseason, get extra quarter or maybe a quarter and a half. So maybe the first and maybe part halfway through the second. Game 3, preseason game 3, first 2 quarters. Game 4, preseason game 4. Or no, there's only 3 that's right. It's only 3
It's
seasons.
three, but this is considered week one. So it's three. It's 3 games total, but this is considered week one.
Okay, so yeah.
So so
Then,
tomorrow is week one, and then week two begins next Thursday, and
okay.
then that's all the teams the full slate.
Okay. So then and then so by game 3, I'm letting my starters get probably all the way up to halftime and probably start of the third, and then I'm pulling them. I'm probably pulling them right after mid
Hmm.
third quarter. I'm pulling them, and I'm seeing all I needed to see by that time.
Have you really though?
Yeah, that's 3 games, Trey.
Oh, I don't know, man.
You cannot, because what you don't want to do, you don't want them to go all the way in, and then you got that chance of getting injured. That's what you don't want
You know
preseason.
what?
It's
You
a
know
better
what? On this, you know what this show makes
yeah,
causes me to do.
yeah, I agree with that, drunk. What's that?
You know what this show causes me to do? It causes me to sit up and rethink my acumen in sports. Y'all sit up and be some other stuff. Y'all sit up and be trying to make me feel like between you, Coach Wayne, who else be on that? Anthony, and all that type of stuff. Y'all be making me think about my acumen in sports, and I know better. I know, I know you are effing lying and trying to simply do that. So you know what? I'm gonna hold my ground and be because I'll be thinking myself. I'll be sleep at night and be like, am I cheap? No, I'm not cheap. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm sitting here thinking, trying to defend myself like all my life. I had to fight. I was like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going for this anymore. I'm
Gee,
sit up.
how can you say that? Only time I would play vet starters is one quarter the last game. That's crazy to me, drunk.
And I
That's crazy to me.
get it. Like I get what you're
Because
saying.
you
I can get
still
what drunk is saying. It's like, but
no,
what is the
you
right
still
answer?
need no because this is okay. Everybody got their own opinion, but for me,
Hmm.
the Carr and Adams thing, you have to get what you see at practice with Carr and Adams is not what you're gonna see in the game
Hmm.
because you're playing against your own team. They know what to expect. They know what they're going to see. They know all of that. When you play against a team, one quarter is not going to show you because what if that team holds the ball for that entire quarter?
Hmm.
You got maybe get 2 reps out of that quarter because the team held the ball because they up, because you chose to play your secondary, your second string, and therefore your second string couldn't put up points, but their first string is putting up points. So you mean to tell me you gonna hold them out and get them to play in last quarter? So now it's a possibility they're playing catch up. Hell no. Now you really putting too much pressure on them. Hell no. I don't. That's me. I don't agree with that. That's him agreeing. That's Hardware agreeing with what I said earlier. You think you have to think it's you have what do you say? You have to think it's 3 games plus practice in between those games. That part injury is just too much of a risk. I get it, and that's why I'm talking about Trey. That's why I say by game 3, I'm playing them all the way up to probably to the beginning of the third quarter. After that, that's it. You don't need your starters playing every preseason game. I disagree because what you don't realize, Anthony, is every preseason game is a different team. So different teams gonna play you differently. So you need your starters to be able to recognize everything at game speed, not film speed, game speed. I know everybody go, well, you can watch film. No. Game film is good, definitely perfect. It's good to watch, but game speed and film speed is 2 different things, bro. You sitting there, you ain't got no pressure by looking at a game film. Ain't no pressure on you looking at a game film. What pressure are you? But when you on the field, you got noise, you got to think, you got to focus. That's a total different thing, bro. Okay, 2 drives if they hold the ball. Okay, I feel you could drunk.
But dude, that 2 drives, yeah, 2 series. That's 2 drives or 2 series. Is that? I mean, is that effective? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
not in my opinion. Not in my. They could get injured in that one quarter as well. It's all a risk. That part, Hardwire. It's right. They can't. They can get injured anywhere. Walk into the stadium, they turn an ankle. I didn't turn ankles on the sideline before playing the game before.
Walking and sliding your cleat.
Yeah, and walking just turned my ankle on some nonsense. So it can happen. Don't get me wrong. Injuries are going to happen, and it's really no way around injuries. It's a part of the game. But 2 quarters. No, Trey. You think you can see what you could need to see in 2 quarters?
You know, my mind, the way my mind works, I just seen all kind of stuff. My mind at some point to stray back away, and I got to bring it back. So, but I guess it depends. Like, I don't think you can see what you can see in 2 quarters. I think that's more at that point. I don't even think you're really looking, because you see it, you like, okay, you know what I'm saying, he's got this, he completions, he did this, and you were like, all right, go ahead and go with the next team. But
this trade, ain't there so many variables? Because
there's plenty of variables, so many variables.
So a plethora of variables because of the fact that you want to see how your quarterback and your first string does full length of the field compared to you may not even or half length of the field, 2-minute clock. There's so many variables, bro, that you have to keep in mind
that you want to try to see if possible.
Right. Yeah, 2-minute drill. Everybody knows about the 2-minute drill. Those are things. How fast can they get to the line? How fast can can the quarterback get the ball out of it? How fast can they line up after the ball has been dead? Is blown dead? How fast? All of these things. It's so many variables that you have to look at, bro. If you're a vet starter, you know what game speed feels like. I don't care how much of a vet you are, and I don't know if Trey can attest to this. As long as I've been playing football, bro. As long as I've been playing football, every single season, butterflies would still come. I would still get that anxiety going into the game. I don't care how long I play, and I played football since I was a little kid. I don't care how much of a vet you are. Each season is different. Whether you got new people playing, you got to factor in that most starters don't want to play preseason. I don't agree with that. You agree with that, Trey?
That most starters don't want to play preseason. Yeah. I think there's a handful that probably think about it. Which is what we was still talking about. I was going to ask that question. Like, are these games useless? Are you playing to win, or are you just playing to assess? And if you happen to win, that's what it is.
Right. No, I don't think, in my opinion. Let me ask you, answer your own question as a coach. Are you looking at the win? Are you looking to win, or are you just assessing the game as a coach?
I think it's all about assessment. especially as at this point. It's almost like a large jamboree,
That part.
basically.
That's what
So
it is.
it's like one single game jamboree that goes on for a duration of a game. That's basically what it is.
That's it. That's it. And you just getting looks. You don't care if you happen to win, so be it. If you're in a position to get a win, so be it. But if you don't win, you're not harping on all of that. Your main thing is one thing about a preseason game is giving you game film on a bunch of teams that you may be facing in the upcoming season. You have film on what they may choose to use. Don't get me wrong. A lot of coaches are smart. They're not gonna play. They're not gonna use the plays that they in a preseason game that they're gonna use in a regular season game. You'd be crazy to think that. However, common, you get to see their personnel that they may bring in. You get to see how their personnel react to certain things, so forth and so on. You really want your starter out there half-assing because he don't want to be out there and get injured. Well, I would hope no player drunk is out there half-assing. I'm gonna be honest with you because that's how you get hurt. It's half-assing. You should be giving 110% every time you're on the field, whether it's a preseason game or not. You should be giving 100%, 110% all the time. Because, like you say, if you half-ass it, you're gonna get hurt because you're trying to avoid you not going all in. And when you're not going all in and somebody else is going all in, that's when injuries happen. Unnecessary injuries, though. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, Trey, but that's how I see it. You think Lamar, Patrick, Brady playing every game? No. No, they're not. They may not. They may not. Especially Tom, probably not. Patrick and Lamar, maybe. Maybe Patrick and Lamar, maybe. Tom, no. Age is a factor for him on why he's not playing every game. They're not going to risk all that. They're not going to risk. Age plays a huge factor in preseason. You got to say them aging bones and the muscles for regular season. I'm not gonna lie.
So going to the part of reference, I'm trying to think back. Like, was I nervous every start of anything
And not
really playing?
necessarily nervous, but just maybe
Butterflies, like you said.
anxiety or
This is like
butterfly.
so.
Yeah,
I don't think I do, but
anxious.
I think maybe, well, not butterflies, but I think there is a certain rush in a
Right,
thought when the first snap happens, especially on defense, because I play deep, but because I play both sides of the balls. So I was the offensive wise was never really a thing. I didn't even think
right,
about it, but the
right.
defense becomes a little bit different because
Yeah,
now you're saying as you go, you settle in to the position and getting your position into your playing stance. Like you're waiting for the ball because you don't know what is coming at this point,
right,
especially
right.
yeah. So
And it's
so that
different.
part, but
That
that
part.
comes in throughout the course because especially when you locked in and you're wondering like you trying to stop a void, so that always starts to become a factor. Um,
Especially being the fact that Trey, we talking about now. I'm saying I'm having this, and you're saying you're having this, in Hardwire saying we're having this in a flag football type setting.
mhm.
Imagine thousands of fans in a stadium. You mean to
Super
tell me ain't
Bowl.
no nerves kicking up no type of way, bro? Like, come on, that's just human nature. That's just being human. You're gonna have some type of nerve, whether not necessarily saying like you said, like you were saying, Trey, not necessarily scared or nothing like that, but maybe anxious, a
Mhm,
little bit of anxiety, the anticipation of
mhm,
not knowing what's about to happen. Should I, maybe you trying to overthink some things going into the game, like you said on defense. Okay, I gotta remember. Coach told me this. Coach told me,
mhm. All the things that you're going over in
yeah,
practice.
yeah, that stuff
You
builds
don't
up.
you don't want to be the first person to give up. Like who was that?
That part,
Their first pass was a pick six.
right? You don't
Yeah.
want that, bro. That builds up, bro. That stuff. That how can a coach get a game film on a team when they don't play their first full? That part too. If they don't play their first team, you don't never their full first team. That's so true. Then they gonna have butterflies first regular season game no matter what. That part, and that's what I'm saying, bro. I totally agree. But for me, I feel like you get some type. Now the butterflies may dwindle down as the season goes on. You don't come in at every game with as many butterflies as the first game, but I still feel that there's a little bit, like a few, even no matter what, especially as you get closer to playoff time, trying to make the playoffs, trying to, things of that nature. Like Trey say, when it's all said and done, you don't want to be that person
Mhm.
that the last that got scored on, cost us
Mm-hmm.
the playoff game, or you that person that missed that sack, or
Mm-hmm.
you dropped that interception.
Mm.
He said, dropped that interception. You don't want to be that person.
He's your problem now, so I ain't problem now.
Yeah, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that person. So the energy you're being fed from the whole situation is serious. That part I feel. You know, I just don't like injuries and meaningless games. I totally understand you're drunk. We none of us do. None of us do, and we cross our fingers, our feet, our toes, or whatever we can to in hopes that our key players don't get hurt. Um, during these meaningless games. I totally feel you, and I'm sure coaches be on the edge. They probably one of the main ones have
Because
butterfly.
exactly, because when it happened, it's like, oh man, it's
Ooh,
like,
I
oh,
knew it. That's the first thing come out your mouth. I knew it. I should have sat him down. Ooh, I knew it. I should have did this. Ooh, I knew it. I shouldn't have let him play. That's
second
first thing come out
guesses.
your mouth. Yeah, first thing come out your mouth because deep down, back in the back of your head, coaches are thinking, "Damn, do I really want to start him right now? Should I start him? God, ugh, I gotta see what he can do. I gotta see this. I gotta see that." And like you said, drunk when it comes to when it when it comes over, drop that easy touchdown, Hollywood Brown. Facts. That part, man. It's just so many things that could be.
Boomer sooner.
Yeah. Hey, watch him out. Watch him out. Hey, but I'm just saying. Yeah, you know, there's so many things that you want to see from your players that you get that you don't possibly see in practice. Practice is good. You learn so much in practice. You get all everything you want that you would like to have done in practice at practice. But when it's game speed, game time, you're looking at a whole different aspect of the game. Like Trey said, as a coach, you have to live with those decisions during the preseason, especially someone. Yeah, you're right about that, Hardwire.
So I know there's a couple other things, but we can get to what probably is the meat and potatoes of the day, or as of yesterday. As we all know, some things were levied against the Miami Dolphins yesterday. Um, I don't know if everyone agrees with it. We're finna find out. But of course, Miami got caught red-handed, as I said, red-flipping,
Cookie jar.
whatever you're saying, whatever you want to say. As they were hit, where they was investigated for tampering and tanking, in which one of the two instances they were found to have some negligence in. Um, they lose a 2023 first round pick as well as a 2024 third round pick as owner Stephen Ross as well as Brady Beal, uh, who was a limited partner owner, basically um, were had some explaining to do, basically, in a sense. Ross was suspended for up until October, in which he's not able to go to any meeting until next year's meeting, the 2023 of the owners meeting. Uh, but for other purposes, he's suspended to October, mid October. Brady is not able to attend any meetings currently, and he is fined $500,000. Ross fined $1.5 million uh, as they were charged or said they attempted to lure Tom Brady on multiple occasions and Sean Payton over the course of several years, which is a no-no because these players or coaches are under contract with other organizations in which you're trying to get to. So, Commissioner Roger Goodell said this is like the most unprecedented thing in which you've seen, to where it wasn't players, it wasn't the front executive, the ownership was in
Going,
was in violation.
going dirt. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The ownership was out there trying to pull people in, out there trying to set up any phone calls with agents of coaches to get Coach Sean Payton to see about him coming to be a part of the Miami organization. Even when Tom Brady was playing in his last couple of years, they looked at bringing him to be an executive, as well as him being an executive, a possibility of him being an owner, an executive, and as well also potentially maybe playing for the team if need be, while he was under contract with New England and while he was under contract with uh, Tampa Bay. So just doing the most, of course, and then additionally on the front where they were in reference to the tanking, as we all know, before firing Coach Flores, who is now the senior assistant, defensive assistant in Pittsburgh, he was said that when he first started playing there, that he was offered $100,000 for each loss that he did, as the Stephen Ross wanted him to tank in order to better their positioning for the 2020 round draft, in which Flores said he felt a certain type of way about that. He said in a written letter, he provided that letter to the senior executives of the organization, and they basically told him that there's no way, form, or fashion in which they are trying to do that, or he would even be saying that. In which ultimately there was nothing charged, or no the allegations were found to be false in a sense, but they however did say that those that conversation is something which he should be having, whether he's playing or not, or whether he meant it to be. That's a conversation he shouldn't be having or saying, and he shouldn't do it anymore. Bishop, your thoughts on this whole situation? Is
So
that too much?
no, I mean, so for me, I feel that they said that he was joking
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
tanking.
Hmm.
Um, but
Do we joke about that? Is that
well,
how they joke? Do they joke in the hood like that?
for one thing, if you're gonna joke about it, you better do it where can't nobody hear it.
It's just me and you.
You
As
know
you
what
at minimum, you gotta be he say she
I'm
say.
saying? Yeah, he say she say me and you, bro. Because it was stated that it was being said because the position in which Miami was in, they was trying to solidify their position for their upcoming pick for the
2020. Uh-huh.
2022 draft.
Hmm.
So they want to solidify that, and the only way they could do that is, of course, continue to lose. So, Brian Flores, I'm glad he had no, he didn't, a lot of people are asking. I mean, man, shouts out to Brian Flores for not, agreeing to that. But
Hmm.
a lot of people feels like that has, and I think we've even talked about it, and maybe not on First Formation, but on another network when we was talking about, do we, a lot of people feel as though the integrity of the game has been tainted because a lot of
That's now what Roger Goodell is trying to sit up and say. Like, it's everything. The integrity of the game is everything.
you're right. And a lot of people, and we've heard it before. A lot of people feel like certain teams, when they don't start off well, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Giants, are these teams who at a certain point have they already pushed that season under the rug and looking to get a good draft pick at some point throughout the season where they're not necessarily trying to lose every game there from that point on, but kind of not trying to win more games to keep their position in regards to the upcoming draft. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, the integrity of the game has definitely been questioned because of things like this. But it's unfortunate that it's coming from such high up, the owners. You know what I'm saying? The CEOs, things like that. That's very detrimental to the game, and to the league. The NFL is like Walmart. They'll watch you steal until you take enough for a felony, then press charge. All right, you drunk. I feel you. Everybody and their mama knew about Brady trying to get to Miami, and we know that. And they just talked about Sean Payton. Of course, it wouldn't have been a big deal probably if these accusation or not accusation, these conversations about getting Tom Brady and getting Sean Payton was still with the Saints.
Hmm.
Why did you just wait? You know what I'm saying? Just wait. He retired anyway from the Saints. He quit coaching from the Saints. Why try and get him? Obviously, somebody got word that he was going to leave, though. Obviously, they got the Miami organization got word that Sean Payton's last season was was his last season which was
Upcoming, he was planning to leave, or he's
yeah
open to leaving.
yeah, that just passed. So somebody had to, because of all people, why'd you pick Sean Payton to reach out to? You know what I'm saying? That's just, when there's so many other coaches out there, why'd you pick Sean Payton? But especially when you had Brian Flores right there in your own backyard. I mean, why would you pick Sean Payton? Obviously, somebody spread the word, or somebody got leaked it out that Sean Payton wasn't going to be there next season. But even still, it's just sad, man. When you have who was telling the truth. Good question. Good question. Good question, Anthony. Damn good question. Hey, they say the truth will always come out.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, of course, like he said, he sent the that he said he had a quote. Let me see if I can pull this quote up in
If it's that
reference to.
big of a deal, I feel like Brady should be suspended game. No, why? Why would you suspend Brady? Brady
Oh, they're
did
neither one of them are facing any
right. It's not
yeah, they're
Brady's fault.
they're in
They
the clear. So
That's
Brian
Brady.
Flores Brian Flores had a quote in which he said, "I am thankful of the NFL's investigator found my factual allegations against Stephen Ross are true. At the same time, I am disappointed to learn that the investigator minimized Mr. Ross's offers and pressures to take gains, especially when I wrote a submitted letter at the time of the Dolphins executive documenting my serious concerns regarding the subject at the time which the investigator has in her possession. While the investigator found that Dolphins had engaged in impermissible tampering of unprecedented scope and severity, Mr. Ross will avoid any meaningful consequence. There is nothing more important when it comes to the game of football itself than the integrity of the game. When the integrity of the game is called into question, fans suffer and football suffers. Unquote, end quote from Brian Flores.
Mm.
Um,
Hardwire, yeah, I feel you on that. Drunk, he retired to get to another team. Can you prove that? Do you have a receipt for that? That's all. That's here. You can only speculate that. That's not. I feel the laugh. I see what you're saying, but yeah, you can't. I mean, that could be true. Some truth behind it. Drunk. I'm not gonna lie. It could be some truth behind it to get out of his contract in New England and say I retired and come back and play for Tampa Bay. I could see. I mean, it could be some truth to that, but you would never be able to prove that. You would never be able to prove that.
it's whew.
It's bad, man. It's a lot of. What do you think about that, Trey? And all of y'all that's watching Drunk Anthony Hardwire, what do y'all think about these owners getting in just as much trouble as the players? How are
I
you setting an example for players if you're the owner and you getting in just as much trouble?
when it comes down to it, when I look at it, it comes down to the same thing in which I was even talking about in reference to um just in general, like these people, no different from like the service members and stuff like that. Everyone is people at the end of the day, but there's certain things are placed upon you once you get to a certain status. As a service member, you're looked at as me and you're saying, uh, having a certain traits and certain morals. So no different for these owners and stuff like that. You have certain things. They're obligated to certain things, but that doesn't sometimes doesn't remove people from being what they can be, or especially when you got money. Like what I'm saying, we just had this conversation the other day in reference to Deshaun, and saying some stuff was told to him, like the judge stated that although this may not be anything, I'm still putting out that you only need to engage with therapists that are team therapists. Like you know what I'm saying, you don't no more going outside. It's like because potential there's a problem there, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. And this is what you have seen where it has been predatory. Like so, it's no different in this fact of the matter that there are people still. It's just that they can, or it's a 50-50 if they are able to uh, do dirt and keep their dirt hidden, or is a 50, or they basically or they get caught, or it comes out, or they don't do it at all. And that's basically what it comes out to, especially as you get older in age and you think you have more allegiances and alliances, and people, only a couple of people know where the bodies are buried, and it goes from there. So I just think that's exactly what it is. It doesn't remove them from it, but you would like it to keep the integrity of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole conspiracy theories come up in case. Do you believe in that type of stuff? That there's conspiracy theories in the NFL or in sports in general? Tables are set.
Man, we could talk about that all day.
No, Bishop, not you.
No,
Come on.
no, it's so I won't say that I believe in it, but man, it's hard
It,
not
it raises, some of the stuff raises eyebrows.
hard not to. Sometimes it's hard not to want to believe in it. Because it just certain things that just happen, and you be like, "Come on, that did not just happen, man." Like, come on, that didn't happen, but it is what it is. Put out there, they actually get punished for what they're doing. That's the question.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then How why? Well, they're getting caught up, but the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Some players are getting harsher punishment than what was given to their owners. Facts.
Which that's what another thing that the judge pointed out in her conclusion yesterday in that 16-page report. Like it wasn't even in there, but it was a side note. Like Deshaun is getting ridiculed and getting skewed for the same thing that owners are doing, and we ain't heard nothing about removing them for a year, or I mean, except for um, Snyder. But I mean, he was like someone had to fall on the sword once it all came out. So
Yeah, it's man, that's crazy.
the draft is rigged. How is a draft rigged, junk? I'd like to know that
He
to
said
get Brian.
mom and drove to Chicago.
Mm,
I mean,
I don't know. I'm sure. I'm still trying to be out.
I don't know
My
about the draft being rigged. I just
my
know
my barber believes in the conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
I know some people that
But
believe.
he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, so
Oh well, that explains it all right there. But we know there's a lot of people that believe in conspiracy theories. Me and remember we had oh no we
yeah. I know. Yeah,
Miller on here, wasn't we?
mm,
Craig Miller, we had
yeah.
him on here
Craig
one
Miller.
time,
Yeah.
and he was like, he believes in that there's a conspiracy theory on how things. But then if that's the case, that has to go all the way back to college. Is conspiracy theory, does it go to college sports as well? Do you feel like, or is it just in the professional sports?
I think the people believe it's in all sports because there's
Mm.
always it's because sports and entertainment. It's entertainment at the end state, and so they
Well, we have evolved since being drunk. That's why they don't know. Lottery balls, really? That's so 1930s. Nobody do like we've evolved since then. There's no need for lottery balls
so they
now.
do the lottery balls, but we just don't see the lottery balls.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
yeah.
it's not.
And I don't know. Do they still do the lottery balls, or
Yeah,
do they do
that's
it
how
using
they.
a different method?
Yeah, no, it's
Because we know what is that thing I seen on like
the
now
lot.
the
The
little thing
lottery ball
on
it
the
goes
internet.
through is a fact. So the lottery ball goes through and suctions and pulls it out, and they get the odds. So the lottery ball is the odds, and that's how it goes. So that's why they come out with the envelope because it's an extensive process to get to figure out who is these things. So the envelope serves at that instead of them sitting up there and just pulling the lottery balls and all that type of stuff. So the
Oh,
lottery balls are still used, but we just see the end state.
okay. Drunk. How much is he at? How much you selling it for? Because in the light, I got a yacht.
I just don't think it's. I can't. I want to continue to
It's so
hold out.
hard. Yeah, it's so hard because if it's ever proven that there is a conspiracy in regards to professional sports, that'll be the end of professional sports, bro. That'll be the end of professional sports. No one would want to watch it.
Because it's like it's like man, y'all always like you can't do anything
Just like,
because
because I'm
it's
gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Um, my mom and my brother can attest to this. Hardwire can attest to this. Me and my brother, growing up, bro, we used to watch wrestling,
hmm
WWE, WWF, all that. We used to
oh,
watch
when y'all found out it was fake.
that part. So my mom, me and my little brother, we used to watch it from the Von Erichs to Kabuki to Junkyard Dog, all the old heads. We used to watch it faithfully, me and my brother. And of course,
hmm
just like most young kids, we practice it, do it, try to do all these things, but we was getting hurt. And so my mom was like, "Why are y'all watching that fake stuff?" We would argue our mom up and down that it was not fake. Mom, that's not fake. How's that fake? That's not fake. That's how. And she would always say, "Sean, Kendrick, if they really did that stuff to them people on that stage, do
Everyone would be
you
hurt.
really think they would be able to come get back up and continue to do what they're doing?" Oh no, that's not fake. That's not. It took years for us to find out that what our mom was telling us for so long was true. And once we found out, I stopped watching. I stopped watching it.
It tainted it at that time for you
To
at that
me,
point for you.
to me, don't get me wrong, millions of people still watch wrestling, knowing it's fake. Millions of people, and maybe that could be the same case for if people were to find out there was conspiracy in other professional sports. But for me, I lost the desire to watch the sport because now I know I was like, that's all fake. It's fake. There's nothing. What's exciting about stunts? Because that's all it is. It's a stunt show. I
True
think that
that.
makes
That's
billions
so
of
true.
want to tell the public everything that happens. I can agree to that, drunk. What do you think, Trey?
I'm sorry, I was looking at Hardwire. So basically, you was
Oh,
performing you was performing the moves on.
stop it, Hardwire.
You
Stop it.
so just like a big brother, like performing all the
Stop
moves.
it.
Got him in the trying to put him to sleep, put him in the figure four leg lock, the
No,
DDT in him.
he's lying. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Hardwire. He's full of.
Hardwire, I bet he attempted the sleeper on you, almost choked you out.
Don't listen to that. There were definitely things that would happen in the dark world, like you said, Trey. Only if you know where the bodies are buried. Facts. Facts. I truly believe that. That's it. Is it a conspiracy that some star players have had concussions high to keep them in the game? Hid to keep them in the game.
See, look at it. It all comes out. See how he try. See how he trying to fast. See how he just trying to fight through here. We just not gonna float over this. Like we.
Oh, I do remember that, drunk. Remember when the lights went out on Super Bowl Ravens?
Stop it. See, y'all why is it everything with the 49ers have to be has to be
It
stuff?
happened though. It did happen.
Yeah, so what y'all saying? Attendant from the 49ers that now has been promoted went and pulled the plug in the Superdome to cut the lights out, and then we come back and then the 49ers make a roaring comeback.
So let me ask all y'all this, since we talk about conspiracy. The Super Bowl where Janet Jackson performed, was that accidental or was that intentional? With a nipple, the titty came out. Was that accidental or was that intentional?
Oh,
Trey.
Nipplegate.
Yeah.
I thought it was accidental. Oh well.
Yeah, we know what she said, but
Yeah.
do you officially believe it was accidental? A lot of people feel like it was purposely done. Do you feel like it was purposely done or accidental?
It might have been on purpose.
See, that's how people feel about the lights going out in the 49 Ravens
No,
game.
come on, stop it. You know what? That game,
The only thing I can remember in a game that I really feel like was probably definitely nature was when the snow fell out in the Minnesota Vikings stadium. The snow fell out of the roof.
The roof collapse.
Mm-hmm.
So
nobody listen to you.
Let's sit and keep it in perspective, right? Okay. So I remember during that 2012 Super Bowl, I remember going to the freezer at the DFAC went out. And so it was out, and it was out for a while. So we had to go and do the recovery. So I had to go to the DFAC to do the recovery. And so I missed the whole game. I know, but they were losing big when I left. But I came back home. We was in there. We you know what I'm saying, it was like nothing had ever happened. It was just a dog fight the whole time. So I cannot commit to that thought of that was a conspiracy. So I assume that the Atlanta New England game was a conspiracy too.
Used to. Yeah. Okay. I feel that there are outside influences on sports and still watch to include wrestling. And I mean, don't get me wrong. The Patriots comeback against Falcons was planned.
See, that's what I was just saying.
People feel like that's a conspiracy.
The Russell Wilson, or like he said, the next one, Russell Wilson throwing the ball on that was a play in which Pete Carroll.
That was but that could still be considered conspiracy because what coach in their right mind has beast mode on the 1 yard line and you don't run this dude? Like, did he really call that play?
Yes, he did. And it was one of those situations where he had to go with his decision.
Do we know for sure he called that play? Can anyone attest that he physically came out of his mouth and said,
like, how do y'all possibly think this stuff is going on? Do y'all think in that moment, do you think it was a call on a red phone to someone that was like, hey,
hold on, do the quarterbacks, do they or do they not have headsets in their helmets?
They do.
Okay, so with that,
but they are cut off at a certain time.
Okay, but with that, but we don't know when it's cut off. We don't know. Only they know.
It gets cut off 15 seconds before the clock so they could all communications are discontinued.
Okay, which we've been told. Which we've been told.
Y'all are bugging.
I'm just saying, which we've been told. So I'm just saying, I don't care, but I was deployed and happy it happened. You stupid about the Janet Jackson thing. Everybody was happy it happened. Janet
I
Jackson
missed it.
was intentional, but that was outside the NFL control. That music secret society stuff. Y'all on some more. Y'all on one today, bro. Nope, she brought that dress from Wish. Stop, bro. Anthony, y'all are wilding right now, bro. Y'all are straight wilding. Refs literally used to rig NBA games. Wow, that's how you feel drunk. Wow. Outside influences. I think Jason Tatum was told to take a dive in the most
Y'all
recent.
are bugging. This is
So Jason Tatum is taking dives now. Really? Ravens winning the Super Bowl on Ray Lewis's last season. Saints winning the Super Bowl days before the flood. Days before the flood.
no. It was 2 years after the
Yeah,
flood.
that was after. Yeah, Katrina happened before that. That was
Yeah,
yeah, that happened
they
before.
won the Super Bowl
Year
the
after.
second year, 2 years after it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So they say y'all are wilding, bro. Y'all are
so
wilding.
I don't know. That's just like saying so. Basically, Pittsburgh winning the Super Bowl, Jerome Best's last year. Is that rigged? Like it just so happened the
Michael
way it
Harris,
happened.
immaculate with the
Back in reception.
reception. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that stuff just happens to happen.
That you can't practice. That you can't. You know what I'm saying? That those are things you can't
And
do.
that's different. That part is different, though. But I just think to sit up and say that, okay, all these
He's
people
wrong for
are.
that. Tim Donahue, he was wrong for that. Like that was dirty. Like we know he did some dirty. Like obviously, if you ref in a game and you bet on that game, you're gonna make calls to where you can win that game.
Why not Howard Wire? Like they happened. Jerome Best won the Super
That's his
Bowl and
squad.
retired.
That's his squad.
Yeah, I know, and then retired.
That's his squad. That's why you say that. That's his squad. He gonna take up for them Steelers, bro. He gonna definitely take up for them Steelers. Remember when teams taking was a conspiracy? Yeah, that's what brought up this whole conversation was the fact that we talking about Miami situation and about them taking to be able to keep the 2022 draft pick in which they had. We all remember that. Oh, what Eli Manning throwing the ball up twice to win the Super Bowl? Like really? It was a great catch, man. You really can't knock him for it. Like it happens. We just saw what happened in the San Francisco boy dropped the interception. Stopped him from probably making it to the Super Bowl. It's not possible to have this much coincidences on one area of an entertainment.
Sure, it is.
Why isn't it? That's a lot of games. How many? So Trey, let me ask you this: how many coincidences have you seen?
We just named a few, a good amount.
No, in your military flag football career.
Yeah, we know ain't nothing to that flag. We know that it's just so it happens like that.
But I'm
Like
just saying, any coincidences you can recall during your whole military career of playing flag football? How many coincidences have you seen to where it was like, oh wow, that won them the game? That won them the game because of that coincidence. Big immaculate catch, a huge interception, a batted ball and it happened to roll off somebody and being able to catch it, a ball that was tipped and kicked by somebody and they was able to intercept it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't remember too many, except like I said, the coincidence, like I was telling y'all when I said that when I get this interception, it's go time, and it happened. It's like so it's like you know saying that type of stuff. I can remember
into existence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can remember being with my back against the wall in the game in which which I needed, and I was sit up and told it was we ended up going to an overtime, and I was in my mind I'm thinking to myself like, man, like I guess those butterflies in which we talk about because it's in overtime. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself like, this is like we're really up against the wall, and I don't know if we can pull this game out. And then saying, and where I sit up and had a chance to end the game, and I had been in somebody all day, like saying like, how do you drop the ball? And I had a chance to win the game on a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
And but what happened was the ball got lost in the lights, and
Mm-hmm.
all the last thing I remember seeing is a black dot, and it's like so when I came up, the black dot, the ball lost to the lights. I seen a black dot and I couldn't locate the ball. And the ball hit me directly in my hands, and I sit up. And so the only thing in my mind is I could have just ended the game because I was free to the it was there was no one going at that point. Adrenaline was going to take over. Wasn't no one going to catch me. I was about to pick up, turn it, return it. But I was like, oh my god! So in my mind, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just dropped this interception. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's still two more plays left in this series, and I think we had got came out and had the ball, so now it's like basically that could have ended it for us, where we ain't have to sit up and wonder like what's going to happen the next two. We stopped them, we got the ball, and we ended up punching it in. So I mean, I don't know. Could that have been seen as in that instance, if we was talking about if we was playing ball for real, could that have been seen as where it's like clearly he doesn't drop anything, and then he ups and drop this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Could that have been seen as a conspiracy to
Piercing.
sit up and hiding, you know what I'm saying, to build up on that, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
those type of things, yeah, definitely. So but I haven't me myself, I haven't seen many. How about yourself to where you could be like, you know what, this
I've
could or could not have been.
So yeah, when it comes to coincidences, I mean, like I've seen a numerous of games, or I've played in a numerous of games where I was in Fort Hood, or not Fort Hood, Fort Campbell, and we was playing, and we was in the championship game, and we were up, and they had 7 plays. For those that know about flag football, they had 7 plays, and after the 7 plays, the game was over, and this team was on their like third play, and they threw a bomb down the field, and I was playing safety at that time. I was playing safety, and they threw a bomb, and I caught the ball at the he threw it toward the sideline, and I caught it, and I tiptoed in to catch the interception. And as soon as I caught it, and I heard it, and I looked back and seen that the refs called it an interception, I threw the ball up in there, and I was like, yeah, yeah, gave that signal that it caught, and I threw the ball up in there because we knew we had won the game. Because after that, the game was pretty much over because we don't have to run no plays because there's not enough play for them to get the ball back anyway. So I threw the ball up in there and won. So I've seen, I've seen some coincidences where things like that have happened. Balls, tipped out, tipped up in the air on last play of the drive and catch. Yeah, I've seen numerous things like that. But it is what it is,
Like, you know what could have been seen as it goes on. You know, say goes back in my mind. What's good, Commissioner Myers? How you doing this
What's
morning?
up? What's up? What's up?
Eric, what's good with you, fam? What's going
What's
on,
up,
bro? Glad to have you back in formation. Hold up, last NBA championship. What do you say last?
Was it not said that Golden State was not going to lose in semifinal, even though they should have, but went on to win the ship outside
That's
influence?
like
Really,
Ja got injured. Ja got injured. That's all I can say. Ja got injured.
that's that, which is huge. Like a lot of people say, what might have been a total different finals if
Serious. Has
If John hadn't got hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's not a conspiracy. That happened. He actually got hurt. I bet if anything to do with them stakes getting raised. If I have anything to do with them stakes, I get it. We get it, Commissioner Myers. But
so
we're
what
talking
I was
about
about to
conspiracy theories, Commissioner Myers, just to catch you up. Do you believe in them? Do you think do you think they have a huge influence on professional sports and things of that nature? Markeith and
but
Mark Morris switched out in a playoff game in which Markeith got injured for the Wizard.
so I was sitting up and thinking like one of
Injuries
the things
are fake, bro.
one
I
of
mean,
the
you can, but yeah.
Oh, they was losing the series anyway. So I was sitting up and thinking about, like you said, once like this that game in which we played against Fourth ID
Mhm.
during the champion, not the championship, post playoffs, the third round post playoffs. It could have been seen as a conspiracy theory how we broke down, even though, like they said, the standard was saying that there's no high stakes in flag football.
Facts.
So you know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying, just bragging rights. So in that moment, like we were, you know what I'm saying, clicking, and then all of a sudden we broke down. Was it because they were a superior team, because they were a higher ranked team than we were in our own conference? We was the fourth seed in our conference. They was the first number one seed, or you know, saying that type of matter, because or clearly a breakdown to where in the red zone, a bonehead play is made by somebody who I'm not going to mention, Campbell, where he went on the out where I went when the look, like you know what I'm saying, you jumped the play for what reason? Like I'm there, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. He faked and bounced to the right side. Campbell broke on the ball and he went to the right in the open zone that he just left, and they walked into the end zone, and we only had seconds, basically like 21 seconds to try to go 80 yards to get a touchdown. That put it so that could have been seen as a conspiracy theory. That could be seen as a situation where it was so happened that we have been doing this all of them. Then why at this time does this happen? Or was he on the tape? Was there a little side action going on? Was there a case of MREs and being offered? You know, a full chicken and rice, a 12 pack of chicken and rice MRE. You know what I'm saying? That was a hotness at the time for me at least.
Lakers
So yeah,
Sacramento. What's Lakers Sacramento?
conspiracy. Oh, was that when the Lakers came back against Sacramento when Sacramento had Chris
Oh,
Webber and them, and
oh,
they came back and won the Western Conference Final?
yeah. It's conspiracy. Yellow. Got you. I knew the game was crazy with Mike Tomlin standing on the side to stop Jacoby from scoring. I remember that. The trip.
But that's not conspiracy though. That's just happened. That was just a coincidence where Mike stuck his foot out and tried to trip my man. It's like I deal with the consequences.
Yeah, the trip. I remember that. Y'all be dogging this Campbell dude. Wasn't he trying to stay on meats the other day in the store?
Yeah, no, that was Crawford.
That was Crawford. You got it. Yeah, that was different dude.
Yeah, two different.
LOL, possible. Cannon Air Force Base too. Winning it is hard in that place. LOL, Lackland 2000. LOL, I laugh now, but my blood pressure was 200 over 1. That's what I'm saying, man. Like commission, like that. When it's all said and done, man, the coaches and stuff, man, they have just as much, if not more, pressure than some players do, man, because there is so much riding on their shoulders than the players sometimes when it comes to winning and losing or situations.
Do y'all believe in the moniker "Do what you got to do to win"?
Huh?
Anything anything necessary to win?
Oh no, like anything or like you talking?
Anything.
Oh no, I don't believe in that, bro. That's just too much, bro. Certain things you just don't do, in my opinion.
Look at him. Hey, that was an accident. No, it wasn't. We know it wasn't.
That was not no accident. He clearly stuck his foot out. He clearly.
And you gotta think nowadays. There's a lot of stuff you cannot get away with. It's cameras everywhere. These microphone systems pick up everything. Like there's no way possible that you can.
How you happen to stick your foot out on the sideline? How do you happen? Like he could have played it off. He didn't even try to play it off. Mike Tomlin didn't even try to play that off. Like he could have actually, like he looking at him run down the field. He still gets foot out. You didn't you at least fall, trip, do something. You saw it as an accident, which a lot of people saw it as an accident. With Steeler fans was the only one that saw it.
Okay, he said that.
Yes, but tactics are on the table. Yeah, I mean, because like when you say that, Commissioner Myers, tactics. We know one of the main tactics, especially in basketball, is what? To not the hack a shack, but to freeze the free throw shooter by calling a timeout. That's a tactic.
Yeah, anything. Football.
Yes. To freeze the kicker.
Do y'all think that really works? Yes, Coach, Commissioner. I was thinking about that too when Jason Smith to Gatorade.
It's a tactic.
But does that even work though? I think that just happens. I don't think it works, man.
You don't think freezing the kicker or a free throw shooter? You don't think that shit works sometimes?
Nah, I think it just happens. I don't think it's
a winning field goal or winning free throw. You don't think that stuff works, bro? You didn't put in pressure. Now that free throw shooter or that field goal kicker has to go to the sideline or go to the bench and rethink about everything until this time.
In my mind, I'm sitting up thinking like, y'all, was this really y'all trying to ice me? Like what? That's like doing. That's like going through our competitions and then pressure bust pipes. I just don't think that's that. Do all those pressure situations?
Yes.
I don't think that's pressure. It's already why. So why would it be a pressure situation? Like I get to this point, I'm about to kick the field goal.
And you could win or lose the game. It's all on you. All the pressure's on you. Now that the offense done everything they could do, they put you in a position to win this game. The offense done the quarterback and the offense done their job. They put you in a position to win this game. The defense calls a timeout. You had already had your mindset. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Now you got to sit over here and contemplate about it more for the next minute or two, or however this 30-second timeout. He'll go back out there again and try. And then the janky part is, I'm gonna tell you why.
It's a janky part.
The janky part about it is, I'm gonna tell you why it affects. They don't call a timeout until right after you kick it, and it'll go straight.
Oh, but that's what. They call it the time already, but it doesn't get. You already kicked it.
The ball didn't already got kicked.
That's like saying that you use the power up that you no longer have now because, like, I just don't think it's. I think it's a more.
Okay,
I think more of a
perfect example, Trey. Was it pressure that bust pipes when Michigan called that timeout that they didn't have by Chris Webber?
That was pressure.
Thank you. He didn't have. Everybody knew they didn't have no timeout, but Chris Webber.
But that was him being in the moment. But that wasn't. You know, saying he was
the pressure. He forgot about.
Yeah, that pressure. But I'll take that. But I don't think the icing is. I mean, we use the term a lot, icing, but I don't think that actually really applies pressure in a sense. I don't think it said. I think for maybe a few people, but for a professional that's been doing it for a while, I don't foresee it. Like, let's say Vanderjack, when he missed that field goal, when the coach used to go battle with Pittsburgh, and he missed that field goal. The icing era wasn't there yet. He just missed the field goal. That was pressure. But I don't foresee if, like you said, I'm coming up. You call a timeout for a crucial free throw or a crucial field goal, and you call the timeout. If I was going to hit it and had everything, all the traits to sit up and make it happen, For me personally, I don't believe that going to be pressure where you going to sit up and ice me to give me to make me think about the situation which I'm in. If that's the case, then I feel that either way it goes, it's you're going to ice. Then maybe it does ice me, or you give me an opportunity to really settle myself, and now you don't put me in position to where I was a lot better at the point than I was before.
Yeah, Don.
Just like the fourth down with the Raiders and the Chargers. For the before the playoffs, to where it could have determined who was going to the playoffs. They iced him, my man, and he had an opportunity to come back and say, no, don't run that play or run that play. He decided to run the play anyway, and they didn't get it. But I just don't. I know pressure bust pipes, like Coach says, or like everyone's saying and bringing up the fact. But I just don't think. I wonder. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. I just wonder how effective is it that I done wasted my time out.
It's not wasted though,
because it's the last. Usually, it's the last play of the game. Yeah. So it's just when you're saying how effective is it really that does everyone believe that is that effective, or is it just saying a trend at this point?
So the biggest is when Brady came back against the Falcons, and ain't no way that would happen again. You say that, Anthony, but I don't totally agree with that because we all know about the Buffalo Bills who went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and didn't ever win.
Or even like you said, the 49ers thing, like we didn't come back and win, but that happened prior to this thing in which Brady and them came back. We came back. It's just we couldn't close the deal for whatever reason.
I agree with you, Taylor May. Getting someone out of their groove works. I totally like. Prime example of Stan. I'm glad you said that. When we played, Trey, you I'm sure you played basketball in high school and stuff like that, right? Or just pick up basketball. 21, right? You played 21 before. Yes. Is there any point in some time did you ever do this in 21 when you knew somebody had 20 and they had to hit that
threw the ball after they hit 3 point? You sit up and threw the ball to the side to get them off their spot.
Get them off their spot because we know that if they got a hot spot, how many times did that? A lot of times threw a person off. It threw a person off. I believe in it. I do. I believe pressure bust pipes. Without question. I'm like Commissioner Myers. I truly believe pressure bust pipe. It makes them overthink things. Absolutely. Hardwire. I truly believe it. Ask Scott Noel with Buffalo. that part.
Don't pick on him. You're probably going to trigger him.
Ask Nick Anderson when he was on the Magic if it worked, bro.
It's 4. But they didn't freeze him. That's just pressure. It wasn't freezing. He wasn't frozen. No, so I believe pressure. I believe pressure. I believe firmly. I can agree with y'all on that. I believe that certain situations, pressures are built and it causes things to go wrong. I just don't believe that the icing is a thing that builds that pressure. Because at that point, it's going to happen anyway, one way or another.
It's already there prior.
Yeah, it's already there. If it's there, if that's the case, it's already there. The icing, I think, is I think the icing is even a situation where it's going to help and I don't think it hinders. I think it helps more than it would
So,
hinder
so
because
is it fair to say, do you feel like what you don't feel like it could build the pressure more though?
I don't think so. I
Mm,
think what happens is if you do it, it allows to settle.
mm,
So,
mm.
but whatever that pressure was I had, saying it's going to still be there, but it allows to settle to where it even helps or it doesn't help at the end state. But I don't think it adds to the situation. I
Because
don't. I don't think it's a situation to where I was going up confidently to go do this, and then you done sit up and ice me, and now during that 30 to 45 seconds, I'm sitting thinking to myself like, damn, I want to get this over. They should just let ahead and let me do this, and now I go and mess it up altogether. I don't think that.
okay, look at Rodman. That's all. That's all he did was get players out of their game just for a prolonged period of time. It makes them think about all the technical things that comes with kicking the ball accurately. Janky part, first formation, no original. Appreciate your commitment. Hey. The only weapon you got against a game-winning kick or free throw is timeout. That is true. That's why That's why you see so many coaches save that one timeout. That's why they do not expend that one timeout because they want to use it for key situations like that. Especially when it comes to football, things of that nature. They save that one timeout. If they can hold on to it to the last second, they hold on to it.
Bishop, let me find out that you icing people in the Madden.
Oh, I do. Oh, I will. Oh, you ain't got to find out. I'll tell you now. If I'm in a game, because on Madden, and this is the I'm glad you said that, Trey, because even on the game, on Madden,
That
say
probably is something instituted in the game that
no,
works
no, I'm gonna
probably.
tell you, but no, I don't know if you know, but on Madden, if you're down, if you're up and a team drives all the way down and say they about to kick a 30, 40-yard field goal and you call a timeout, when they get ready to go kick the field goal, it changes. Like instead of you being able to see the meter, because
Hmm.
you kind of call the timeout and it gives them kind of sort of somewhat ices the kicker, it takes the meter away. So now you have to guess where to stop the meter at. Now you have to guess where the meter should stop. So it's like they put that in the game. When they say it's in the game, it's in the game. So they put that in the game. So a game-winning field goal from a far distance icing will definitely build that pressure. I agree. That's Trey don't believe that, man. I do. I do totally agree that. Yeah, exactly. Even on man, when you ice the kicker, the whole screen zoom in and the shake, all of that. That part. That part. So Bishop telling us how to cheat. I am not telling you how to cheat, man. I ain't no cheating. I'm not cheating. If you ain't trying, you ain't winning. You got to try and find and get an edge on some way, Anthony. I ain't cheating. How am I cheating? I'm gonna show you. You know what? I ain't gonna have to cheat to beat y'all in this fantasy. How about that? How about that? Ain't no cheating in that. I ain't gonna have to cheat to, to tear that tail up in fantasy. Hope to see all y'all on the fantasy league.
So, a couple. I know we got off from tangent to talk about this. All right, Fred. Until tomorrow, great show.
Appreciate
See,
the hot wire.
so additionally, with some more stuff in reference to, of course, like we talked about the Cam Akers situation, him, Debo Samuels. So what it has came out, we all know Debo
I
signed
knew.
the
I
30
knew. Yeah,
signed the
we talked
thirty
about
year,
Debo yesterday.
73 and a half
We need to
year
bring it back
contract.
again
To
today.
where you see how he's trying to ice you right now. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to be prepared and listen, continue mission, and be locked into what you're doing, and not even sit up and block the outside noise. But Debo Samuel basically was able to get his he got his money basically,
He
but
did.
now has came out and said that he never had a problem with the usage. He said he never said anything in reference to the usage that they're talking about. He says one of the things that
So
changed
where
the
did it
whole
come
concept.
from?
How did what now?
So where did it come from then?
You know what? And that's a good point you bring up. So I'm going to get to that. I'm going to ask a question because I'm starting to wonder a lot of this. Like, where is this stuff coming from?
Yeah,
Where
somebody
is the conversation? Like,
yeah.
who is doing all this snitching? Like, all this stuff we talk about. Brian
Right,
Flores in that situation.
right, right.
Deshaun Watt, Kyler Murray. Like, where is this stuff?
Who's
Who
the
is who?
snitch? Yeah,
Who is who?
where's the secret squirrel? There's a secret squirrel
Like,
roaming.
does the NFL have a secret organization within the NFL that goes through and investigates
What up,
and
LP?
watches stuff and brings it up? Like, where is this stuff coming from? But in any case, like I was saying,
When
um,
he's sick to his stomach, Debo got the money he wanted.
So you know what I'm saying, so it comes out to like, why is this, you know what I'm saying, why is this even? But he said that he never complained about that. That was never the case.
Mhm.
He brought up the fact that the reason why he's in San Francisco now is because he said the communication got better. Communication. So I'm assuming communication was lacking initially, but like Bishop was just saying, like in all this and what we've been hearing lately, how does any of this come to light? Like,
That
where
part.
is this stuff coming from?
Yeah,
Who is reporting this? Is
yeah.
it
Where
just,
did
you know what
y'all
I'm saying?
get that from? Because the way they made it seemed as though it came from Debo himself. So who's coming out here with the secret squirrel information saying that Debo doesn't want to, you
He
know,
didn't like his high usage and all that
his
type of stuff. And he
position?
stood up and said that he's like, go check. He's like, go check this tape. Go see this video. Go see this. And you can see, like, I have no problem. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win and yada, yada, yada. And so, but he didn't really clarify or go into depth to what was going on. He just kept on saying, it's the business. Communication got better. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. So I don't know, but like ultimately, like in the last couple of days, that's what we have been hearing a lot of is this was said, that was said, and it'd be thinking to self like, how is any of this found out? Like, how do you know,
The
or
question. I don't
like
know.
how do you know saying how do you know, or in reference to like even the Miami situation, like how do you know that these people would be in contact? Who is snitching? Like, like
There's
what is going
somebody,
on?
there's a snitch among us somewhere. Somebody knows something, and we want to know who it is because there's some information being provided, and then these people are coming back, and it's totally opposite from what the information is being stated that's being brought out.
So
That is crazy though. That's crazy that Debo's come out and said that after everybody was under the assumption that that came from Debo.
uh
Not
I know
Debo.
we're getting close to
Stall
this
him out,
time.
Debo.
Yeah.
Stall him out, Debo. Stall him out.
I know we get close. Oh, Philadelphia. Like I said, I wanted to bring this up. The Philadelphia running back,
Say, we sounds like we got a conspiracy here.
Miles,
I know, right?
Miles Sanders, uh, has been certified. He got the certified stamp that he is the running back number one in Philly. As they said, they have three top running backs in the situation that have been given number one reps. That's Miles Sanders, Scott,
Right,
and
and then we picked up a new kid. I don't know his name. We just got him. We
so
just got a new kid though.
stated that he's been receiving the same amount of carries. So they said Sarani says that basically they do that to make it work so they can see what they want. But he said clearly without a doubt, Miles Sanders is the number
He is
one.
the starter. He is. He
So
is.
he's the guy, Sarani, not Sarani. Sarani
He's
clarified that.
yes, Ronnie,
But
yeah.
additionally, what he also clarified, and Bishop is probably what we already know, is that wide receiver Jalen Rieger is working. He's fighting for a position at this point. Currently, he is on the second string of the Philadelphia
Where he needs to
team,
be. Where he needs to be.
and he's fighting for a position, whether it's
Because Quez
wide
Watkins probably,
receiver,
what Quez
uh,
Watkins probably done
special
took his
teams.
spot. Right. Quez Watkins probably took his spot because he was
Yeah, he said that's Corey Watkins, and there was another one in which they brought up and said that he's they're
is it
looking at
Whiteside? Is
nah,
it,
not Whiteside. It better not be
it
Whiteside.
better
Y'all,
not be Whiteside because he's trash. He's straight trash. Yeah, yeah, I know he came out of USC.
no,
Yeah.
he did not.
Oh, he
He
came
did
out of
not
that.
come out of USC. He
He
came
came
out of
out of
Stanford.
Stanford. He came out of that. Yeah, out of that
He
conference.
was a tight end in Stanford. Y'all tried to make him a wide receiver.
We
Maybe that's where
should.
y'all went wrong at.
Yeah, we should have.
But the dude like 6'7", like he's
Yeah, he's tall.
got
He's
height. He
6'6".
can't.
Yeah, yeah, he's tall, but he's trash. He's trash. I thought he was gonna be something. He's trash.
That's what it goes. That's how it gets down. I mean, it goes. I think it goes. If y'all, I know if you've been following us on Facebook or case like that, y'all seen there was a somewhat of maybe a disagreement. I mean, it was truth, but someone that can take it as truth. I think you just have to go to the page and take a look at it. You can see it. It has to do with two college teams. One being the great Trojans. You know what I'm saying? The original USC on to victory. USC Trojans. The other was a post in reference to the Oklahoma Sooners.
Boom, Sooners. Oh, yeah, let's go.
In which it was a discussion in which, you know what I'm saying, I just want to make sure that it's understood because on one of the posts there was a thing in which it said this is a 6-6 team or something like that, but
Yeah.
it was posted as first formation. First formation they can post that.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, for
Bishop posted that. First,
formation.
they do not have first
First
formation.
formation
Trey,
posted
Bishop, and first formation do not share the same ideals when it
Yes,
comes
yes, we
to
do.
certain
Yes, we
teams.
do.
So it was Bishop posted this is. If you look in the comments, you can see in the
See,
comments
this
where
is the thing.
clearly
Here
I
comes the
stated that they
conspiracy
are a
thing.
10-2 team
See,
or nine
this
and
is,
three
let
team.
me explain to y'all what really happened. Right, Trey's gonna send over. He sends over
Don't
the Oklahoma Sooners schedule.
don't drink the Kool
He's
Aid.
I this look by this schedule looks like a 6-16 schedule to me. In what universe do you see a 6-6 record out of our schedule for the 2022 season?
If you go
So
to First Formation
I
Facebook
go
page, you
look.
can see the post.
So I go look, and I look at. I said, no. If anything, we'll be 10-3, or 10-2, or
2.
9-3. Yeah, 10-2, 10-2, or 9-3. I said at the worst for us from our schedule. So of course we're gonna take a jab at my beloved Sooners. Let me go look at this USC Trojan uh, schedule. Clearly, looking at their schedule, they could possibly really that. Which he, like he said, the Sooners was going to be seeing 6-6. I said, no. To be honest, this is your 6-6 team right here, which is the USC Trojans. He gonna come back. Nah, I see 9-3 or 10-2 for him. Come on, bro. That's how all that came about, man. No
But
respect
still, like I said,
for the story, bro.
when you look at the post, the comment stated that it was by First Formation said. First Formation did not say that. Bishop said that. So make sure y'all are able to see and recognize the difference. The comment said First Formation. No, First Formation posted it. Bishop from First Formation posted it and said this is USC. So I had to make sure I clarified because even when I posted the Oklahoma joint, I went back and made sure that I commented as myself, so it was not seen as the views of First Formation in any way, form, and fashion. So, of course, we're gonna say what we have coming up in the future. Actually, I think we got some pretty good stuff. We're in the process of making the situation to where we holler at the ladies. There's a couple of ladies out there that we're gonna try to get on to have a conversation. I got Chantel from First Women's First Ladies First Sports Management. Look at getting her on the show. Kimberly Meadows, as y'all, if y'all don't know who she is, get ready to know. Key person in reference to the HBCU league, in which HBCU players, basketball players, have an opportunity to play with one another and to further the ideal of getting exposure. Kimberly Meadows is I think the president or CEO of that organization. We're going to have her on to have a conversation. My fellow alumnus, I look at talking to Asia McMillan, who's doing good big things like you know, saying all about the ladies. You know, what I'm saying they let them talk about what's going on or how they're doing it, what's popping in sports in reference to them. Maybe a couple of others. Basically, that's all about that type of movement. I'm all for that. So look at having them. If y'all haven't already, y'all don't know, y'all should know. NBA Military Basketball Association is in the process. Next week on August 13th in Oklahoma City, having their first Military Basketball Association All-Star game, slam dunk contest. They got some historic individuals in the military basketball or that's going to be judges. So it's a whole event, you know what I'm saying, something to grow on. At some point we're going to have the Army's all Army's basketball coach Bartley on to discuss all Army basketball, try to get all the other forces. I know, I think Coach Collins, Air Force coach for women's, I believe. I'm looking for to try to get him on to have him and Coach, actually Coach Parrish McDaniels, Daniels as well. So all this, you know, saying possibly coming in the view future to get these, just get the scheduling right so they can come on, tell their stories, and basically engage and let us know what is going on in their neck of the woods and how they're making things pop off. It's a whole movement. Military athletes, we're not opposed to them. And then any other athlete for the most part. It's not just military. We do have a niche, but it's not just military. Any athlete that has a story to tell, we're warned. We all look forward to having them on to sit up and get out there to talk to these high speeds, y'all high speeds, in reference to what's going on. So, like you said, look forward to seeing y'all. Y'all know where we are Monday through Friday, 09 to 1100 hours, right here. E2G graciously presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk all the time. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Trey. My man Bishop is out right now, but we look forward to seeing y'all. We holla at y'all. Enjoy y'all day.